Roblox zombie games. They've been on the platform since 2009, for better and for worse. Despite my view numbers basically begging me not to, I decided it's about time that I talk about zombie games again, since they're apparently a staple of my channel. A lot of Roblox zombie games are based off of their real-life counterparts. Reason to Die is based off of Left 4 Dead, Michael Zombies is based off of Call of Duty Zombies, and there's at least 12 other Call of Duty clones and 20 Left 4 Dead clones on Roblox. Since the majority of Roblox zombie games are based off of the same thing, they kind of share the same problems. And that's why I'm compiling them all into a singular video. There's always one or two comments on every video telling me to cover a very specific, niche Roblox zombie game. But like, I already talked about those same issues, you just have to swap out some words. Every time you want me to review a Roblox zombie game, just watch either the Michael Zombies video or the Undead Coming video and pretend that I'm talking about your preferred game, I don't know. Like, obviously not every zombie game on Roblox is either Left 4 Dead or Call of Duty, but nobody cares about the oddballs. But if you do, you can check out my entire playlist on them. I'm Breadian, and I talk about niche Roblox games, and today I'm talking about bad Roblox zombie games, or just some zombie games in general. Or just Reason to Die. But most of them are bad, or rather, they're very flawed. It's not like most of them are great, and it's just the bad ones that catch the bad rap. No! If you base 12 games off of one game, then you're going to have similar problems. And because of their fundamental flaws, it's what holds games like this back from reaching higher levels of popularity and recognition. The Roblox zombie genre kind of peaked a decade ago. Not really sure what kind of era we're in now, but it's certainly not peak. Our first game is Ready to Die, which some of you may already be familiar with. I've talked about it on my channel, and pretty much everybody who's into retro Roblox zombie games knows about this one. Ready to Die, despite its name, is a Roblox zombie game that just refuses to die. It started in 2008 as Reason to Die, as one of the first Left 4 Dead clones, then had a series of revivals leading up to 2016, where Reason to Die Awakening released, which is the version everybody grew to really love. Eventually, the game was finally completely defunct on 28th of November of 2022, because apparently it was a sign from God, according to the developer. But the Reason to Die fanbase was mainly children and preteens who had grinded hours upon hours of their life for years on this game, and weren't going to give it up so easily. Which is why Ready to Die exists, because desperation creates demand, which leads to people rushing to fulfill this demand, creating a replica of the game that has issues upon issues, and lacks the important aspects that made the original so enjoyable, or should I say, tolerable at best. The 2016 version, Reason to Die Awakening, was more than just your average Roblox Left 4 Dead clone. The developer, Place Rebuilder, had already been at it since 2008, so he had experience, as well as an active fan base coming off of the previous iteration of Reason to Die, which was released in 2014 and defunct as well when it was overrun by exploiters. What's important to know about Ready to Die is that it and all of its previous incarnations have preserved the same core formula since 2008 of the Left 4 Dead versus mode. Basically, it means that there's two teams, survivors and zombies. Zombies kill survivors, survivors turn into zombies. Zombie team throws themselves at the survivors over and over until all of them die. The zombie team is never fun. Throughout the years, Ready to Die and games like it have tried to make the zombie team more powerful, and these are what I'd call band-aid fixes. Spawn killing was a problem, therefore they added an enemy that has a crazy amount of HP and can instantly kill half the server. I don't understand how you can program this for months and not see what's wrong with this. You see, Reason to Die was very unfun towards beginners. Not only was everybody in that community toxic as hell, but the power gap between endgame weapons and start game weapons were pretty substantial. I mean, yeah, the starter pistol is amazing, but what about those level 60 GAT Prestige 900 player who just whips out the explosive minigun and starts decimating the entire server? Instead of nerfing the weapons or making player leveling easier, they added a skull champion that spawns after the level 9000 GAT people keep spawn killing. It's meant to be a punishment, but why? It failed. The good players can rip through the skull champion with their explosive miniguns. Or just wait until next round to farm again. The Skull Champion just punishes the level 2 Goblin people, the ones who were just trying to do the objective. All they had to do was maybe tweak the LMGs or something. Anyways, there were tons of other problems with the game, but it was mostly just unfriendly to new players, and the zombie team still wasn't fun to play no matter how much damage they could dish out. Dying over and over again just isn't satisfying. The new 2023 remake, known as Ready to Die, is made by completely separate people, and not only does this game have the same flaws as the original, it had a whole bunch of new problems, particularly upon launch. But that didn't matter to the soy jacks of the R2D fanbase. The diehard fans were going to flock to this game and invest their time into it, even if there's so much wrong with it. They just want something to remind themselves of what it meant to be a kid again. Ready to Die is a game for people who like the idea of a game rather than the reality. A people whose collective memory and understanding of the original game that Place Rebuilder created was implanted into their brains when they were just only adolescents. These people will clap and cheer, and even cry like complete idiots over something vaguely familiar, without pausing for even a second to think about how insignificant that it is. Note to self, do not ever invest your soul into a Roblox game. Shit ain't worth it because it can be taken away at any moment, and you can't pirate it. Congratulations, your struggle is entirely unrelatable. I didn't even know the game was closed. Probably because it's closed so many times before that Probably because it's been closed so many times before that I just lost count. Whenever there's criticism regarding the balance, or even how a single laggy elemental or ticker zombie can ruin your survivor run, they'll rebuttal with, "It's R2D, what do you expect? The old game wasn't perfect either. You clearly haven't played the old game, you're not an OG." Ready to Die and I have an odd relationship. A sizable portion of my fanbase is familiar with this game. People recognize me in-game constantly, despite the fact that I've only made one video on it. One of the people who works on this game wants to sleep with me. I may or may not be getting my own weapon skin. Should I fake my review to be more positive? Hell no! Anyways, barring the fact that this game completely failed on launch, there's already like 6 videos on that topic, the game still fails to hold the same level of interest as its older iterations. What was once hyped up and drooled over has now turned to something of apathy. Despite the developer's best efforts, Ready to Die still has those same core problems as before. It may be slightly easier to level up, apparently. Double EXP Fridays are now double XP weekends. But it still feels like leveling up is incredibly time consuming. The average playtime of a Robloxian is like 11 minutes or something. I literally have over 100k cash in this game, but I still struggle to rank up, even though I make an EXP party every time I play. I can't explain how dissatisfying it is to have enough cash to buy a weapon, but not have the proper level to buy it. Even though I already invested hours of my time into this game, and I think that I'm experienced enough to buy it, the game just says, "Oh, you don't have enough experience, you don't have enough experience." Trying to level up in this game is just the equivalent of edging the entire time without any sort of satisfaction in the end. It's gotten so bad to the point where my mind has gone numb from grinding, which is why I came up with a beautiful grinding method. Step 1, invite random high ranks to an EXP party. Step 2, go AFK and work on your homework.
Dermis. Connective tissue layer of this game that is located beneath the epidermis. Contains blood vessels, sensory receptors, sweat glands, hair follicles, and erect.
Just kidding. Actually, I'm not. I did this a lot.
Composed of blood vessels, loose and adipose connective tissue, serves as an energy source, insulation, and padding.
But it still doesn't give you that much EXP. It's not super efficient, but I'm trying my best to get leveled up for this video, okay? They should add EXP bonuses to the daily logins. Some may argue that the contracts are meant to help alleviate the grind. But let's do a little quiz, shall we? How many contracts can you have active at once? A, 6. B, 4. C, 3. D, 1 survivor and 1 zombie contract each. If you pick D, your expectations for this game are still a little too fucking high. You can only have 1 contract active. This wasn't made aware to me. I thought I could buy 1 survivor and 1 zombie contract. I ended up buying a zombie contract after buying the 1000 kill contract, and I wasted my money, and then it went on 24-hour cooldown. Why do the contracts even cost money? Make them free so that it's easier for the broke-ass new players. They barely cost any money anyways, might as well just make them free. The problem with R2DA's grind is that it rewards monotonous farming over organic gameplay. You have people making servers to farm PvE modes, servers to farm gifts over and over again. And somehow, in all these years that R2DA was out, nobody seemed to see anything wrong with this and actively try to fix it. Sure, they complained about it, but was there ever a thought of, wow, people would rather sit in an empty server grinding for hours on end than actually play the game? Did you guys ever remember playing COD and how its progression in that game wasn't too fast, but didn't feel too slow either. Blood is comparing a real-life game to a Roblox game. Shut your bitch ass up. Like, 70% of Roblox games are based off of real-life games. Anyways, the progression in COD is kind of nice because of how people are prestiging constantly, and therefore the more skilled players are often seen using starter equipment because they've just prestige and are actively trying to earn their stuff back. In R2D, prestige was seen as a scam by some people. It takes so long to grind and level up, and there really isn't any sort of excitement and eagerness to get your favorite weapons back. People would rather just sit at rank 60. Ready to Die doesn't have prestige added yet, but I've seen that it's in the code or whatever. Given that Ready to Die is kind of a replica of Reason to Die, they're probably going to add prestige in the future. And if they do, I hope that they overhaul it and make it something that casual players can find themselves doing, rather than something reserved for the sweats. And when your prestige process takes too long and involves too much grind, it promotes farming, which isn't a fun, healthy, or engaging playstyle. I've heard some people argue that the grind has to be slow, because if you level up too fast, then the game will get boring quickly. I'll let you know, the game gets boring when I have to play zombie every other round. The game gets boring when every good game mode is just survival over and over again. Yes, I know there's a singular campaign map, but it's incredibly laggy right now, so you have negative fun playing it. It's sad because the campaigns of the original Reason to Die games were incredibly memorable, and were a fun twist on the format. They incentivized running around the map, rushing to get all of the objectives done, and employing weird strategies that you otherwise wouldn't bother with if you were just camping out in survival mode. The low ranks even got to be involved in performing the objectives, since nobody could really do them. When it comes to spawn killing, that was mainly reserved for the high ranks, which is why the low ranks never got any kills. But these take time to program, which is why they aren't properly in Ready to Die yet. Coming back to that actually, the game's launch and its early PR in general were just really bad. They announced a release date even though the game wasn't ready, and then people got mad. This exact process repeated at least 3 or 4 times, and I'm not joking. Also putting this random kid on blast for sharing his opinion on the game. And the fact that they made limited time events, which bring in short bursts of players, sure, but add nothing to the game in the long term. Maybe they should have used the dev time towards other things. When I try to grind in Ready to Die, there's only like 2 servers that are sizable. And the North American server was just these 2 admins farming gifts and kicking people who didn't ready up. If the first big problem with this game was the level progression, the second problem with this game is the zombie team. They buffed zombies in this version, but they're still unfun to play. And now Survivor is incredibly frustrating because you can be instantly killed if the game decides to have a lag spike, which happens a lot by the way. Several zombies now have the adequate ability to quickly kill survivors, except the Edgar, because the game is laggy, which makes the tongue useless. But despite how strong the zombies are now, their gameplay is still rather dry, you could say. You don't get to upgrade or choose what zombie you spawn with, unlike humans. The idea of zombies dying over and over again can work, it's just so unengaging in this specific game. Also, you can decide to run and kill someone with 5 health remaining, only for them to eat vitamins and go back up to full in just a second. In other words, if you're a zombie trying to get easy money, target the new players, and target the mobile players who can't aim and are lagging incredibly hard. They won't have the game sense to bring vitamins with them, and you can munch them down easily. That's kind of what's being promoted here apparently. There's no level of achievement or investment. Sure, you can damage and kill survivors, and be awarded money and EXP for it, but it's ultimately just building towards Survivor, aka the fun part of the game, which is bad, because every other game you just swap to the zombie team. So half of the game is just waiting for you to play Survivor, and that's not even accounting for the unfair or just generally dissatisfying deaths that you can experience as a survivor. Rounds are still 10 minutes somehow, even though we live in an age where kids need Subway Surfers in order to pay attention to a 2-minute Family Guy clip. Why do rounds have to be 10 minutes? Let's shorten that, yes? Let the survivors win every once in a while. Shorter round times will mean less time spent being a zombie, and more survivors get to win. And you can have half the survivor team die and half of them win. Both parties would be happy, or content. As for campaigns, it doesn't take 10 minutes to do the campaigns in this game. And for survival, do you really think you need to sit and kill zombies over and over again for 10 minutes straight? Is this what you people find fun? What is stopping these rounds from being 8 minutes, or even 6 minutes? If you really want a 10-minute game mode, you'll already have a game mode called Hard. which is just survival, except harder. I like that name. Hard. You can just call me a hater, sure, but I don't think a hater would be giving suggestions for the sake of making the game better. Nobody wants to see a game die, except for Weird Strict Dad. Nobody wants to see a game die, especially one that you grew up with. Even if I wasn't an R2D soy jack that writes massive paragraphs in the comments section, there's still some semblance of attachment there. I mean, yeah, I don't rigorously play R2D. I log in every day to get my free daily login. The only real grinding that I do in that game nowadays is just when my Pookie Bear Gen Zoms wants to play with me. Did I mention that I wanted to record a quick 15-minute interview with him, and the recording ended up being over an hour long? Maybe we had some sort of connection. But seriously, like I said in my previous video, there's talent and passion that went into making this game. For crying out loud, it's a fan remake of another game. That should tell quite a bit on its own. However, reality is often disappointing, because when you look past the emotional connection that people still have with this game, you see a buggy product, that even if it wasn't buggy, it would still have substantial problems with it. Most notably just the zombie team in general. The zombie infection formula has been going strong since like 2008 or something. It's somewhat of a relic from another time. Anyhow, I hope that Ready to Die gets improved in the future. I hope that it becomes more accessible than ever before. At the very least, I hope that the game doesn't feel like an obligation to play for YouTube purposes. I want to use Genzone's chest as a pillow. The next game is called Mutation, and it's really niche. You probably haven't heard of it. But the people who play this game, oh boy, they've heard of me.
Hi. What? Is that Breadian?
This game is another one of those zombie infection type games, except it's retro. This game caught my attention, and for a while I'd been told that I should review it. But I never made a review on it because I'd just be repeating the same beats in my Undead Coming review. This game made me feel like a kid again. I liked it. All of these cool combinations for the zombie team. Do I want to go back and play it though? When I was first introduced to the game, the human team was very easy to win on. My friend and I would literally not even bring weapons and we'd win. Like, we'd camp in the corner of the map with a fuck ton of just shit. Like, we'd bring a bunch of subspace trip mines and we'd just camp it out and we'd win. Or, I'd bring the healing gun and I'd just get on top of the leaderboard without getting a single kill, because of how many points healing used to give. There was a lot of other really fun stuff we used to do in this game, like spamming barricades, trying to glitch out of the map by using the shrink ability, putting subspace trip mines onto moving vehicles and driving them into zombies. It was nice.
Oh fuck, I'm so dead. Flashbang! Oh my god!
But then they decided to nerf stuff like healing, and nerf the humans team as a whole. So now zombies are really strong. But somehow, playing as a zombie still isn't fun. So fuck me now, you have two teams that aren't really fun to play on, since zombies can kill humans so quickly now. Like, yeah, the game is technically more fair this way, but it isn't fun. I'd like to believe that most people who played zombies back then were just killing humans so that the round went by faster, and they'd have a chance to play Survivor next round. But now, playing Survivor isn't as carefree as before, so the reward isn't quite there. This game always likes to change things up with their big-ass change logs when they change stats and numerical values that I'm too lazy to read. But I did really enjoy playing this game, at some point. I don't hate it now, I just feel apathy, as with most of these zombie games nowadays. Maybe this game will blow up again, since all of these fake, retro-style games are coming out as a response to the weird strict dad craze. The Undead Coming Armageddon is a revival of a revival. Okay, so basically someone in 2007 made a game called The Undead Coming, which was basically the first instance of a player versus zombies game on Roblox. Interesting, because Left 4 Dead dropped in 2008, so it beat it by a year. Anyways, yeah, same formula, zombies kill survivors to make zombies, blah blah. The game broke because old Roblox games tend to break when the platform changes their scripting engines or whatever, and in 2021, some guys made a remake of it. I made a video on it like 3 years ago. I recommend checking out my video covering it in the description, then coming back to this one and giving me another view. So basically this game is the same premise as the other ones are, except it randomly got a boost in players. Before this game dies and goes back down to 6 concurrent players, I'd like to try to get this video out. The 2021 version of The Undead Coming was sold off to this guy, and I feel like there was some sort of actual solid efforts to make the game better and more interesting.
So when I first played the game, I got pretty bored really quick. I played for about 20 minutes. I was like, okay, this is boring. But I did see a lot of potential in the game. The graphics were amazing, and it's an FPS game, so it has a lot of potential in becoming popular. It just didn't have good management and good game design, just from my first impression of just 20 minutes of playing. So I bought the game and hoping to make it better and make it more fun. That's all I wanted, really.
Zombies have progression now. There's AI zombies, there's new weapons, and you can volunteer to get free bricks if you start as a zombie, rather than only getting bricks if the zombie team wins. Spawning in is a special, costs red bricks. Since the volunteer system is in place, you don't have random people being dragged to the zombie team without their consent. Not forcing people to play zombie is good, because when you force someone to play zombie, it makes them hate the game. It also makes them tab out and go AFK. The developer for this game watches my videos. I know this because he friended me on Discord. We haven't spoken a word to one another until just now. Something tells me that he took my suggestions to heart. Did you watch my video on it previously?
Not when I bought it. I did watch it, like, I think a month or two after I went into development. I would say we both have very similar game design ideas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with your whole point of zombies should be, like, more fun. It should be like actual two teams. Survivors can pick guns, level up, whatever. Zombies can, have progression. I do want to do custom X for zombies later, but haven't done it yet.
So on that topic, do you have any future plans for adding more zombies to the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have like a whole like Trello list. I think I have like 10 zombie ideas I want to just add in, but I need a lot more developers in order to do that. And I'm kind of focused on fixing features and improving the performance, because AI is very hard to code.
Like my previous gripes about how zombies were underpowered. They didn't have progression, so it felt like you were just waiting to get Survivor. Also, the gas mask blocks your health bar when you put it on now, so there's finally somewhat of a downside for having your gas mask on 100% of the time. Whereas in the original, you just kept it on the entire game. There's an extraction game mode now, so you're not just sitting dead still for 5 minutes all the time. Now you have to move to the helicopter at the end of the round. Nice baby steps. Also, for some reason, the starter pistol holds 960 reserve bullets, so there's like no need to grab ammo for it. The only problem I see so far is the reload speeds being annoyingly slow, as well as the fact that you can max out your zombie, volunteer to be a starter, and then just munch half of the human team, so long as they suck at the game. But I guess humans can do that too, so it's whatever, I don't know. The game is overall just a major improvement over the source material.
Just mobile support. I added that like 1 week. It only took me like 1 week to add that in. I don't know why the original people took so long, but
Yeah.
Mobile players can play it now. I'm working on console support currently. I think it'll be done somewhere around
I'm glad that you added it, honestly, because I think it's really benefiting the game. The original was held back so much by being PC only, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and actually, according to my analytics right now, closer to the beginning, it was about 60% of my player base was mobile players when it was around 400 active. I think now that it's 700, 800 active, it dropped a little bit, but it's basically half the player base.
The original game was held back because the management was less than professional, as well as the god-awful coding. In just a week, the developer managed to add mobile support, which is a huge contributing factor for why the game's player numbers have inflated. The old version of the game was PC only, which is a god-awful thing to do to your game. If you have a PC, you most likely aren't going to be bothering with games like this. Sorry, not sorry. With all that being said, there's still a grind, and I don't feel like doing the grind since I already did the grind once. When I told the creator this, I felt a little disappointment in his voice for half a second there.
Yeah, I was wondering if you like my game.
Oh yeah, I do. I haven't really put a lot of time into it,
Yeah.
despite my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been playing a lot of Roblox lately, but
have I done?
That's fine, yeah.
yeah. But I do like it quite a. But I promise, once I get more time on my hands, I'll get to it, okay? I have a job, I have college classes, I have to save the president's daughter. You get it. Also, who knows if this game is going to stay popular, because I've seen Roblox's new algorithm shoot games up only for them to fail within a week or two. I assume that it's the algorithm throwing them a bone here, because I have yet to see an ad for this game. I only see ads for the games called The Vents, which is a game so bad I don't even want to make a video on it. Stop. I'm not talking about Call of Duty Zombies clones again. I've already done it like once or twice. They're all the same. We all know what Call of Duty Zombies is. 7-year-old me played Star Battles Der Riese in 2011. Then I played Der Riese and Michael Zombies in 2021. And guess what? It's the same thing. I did play the new maps. They are different. But every COD Zombies copy is the same base gameplay. It's the same thing every time except minor alterations. It's like listening to Ice Spice's music. Like, at least all of the CODs try to do something different with their Zombies mode with each game. With the Roblox scene, it's just people copying World at War / early Black Ops 1 Zombies over and over again. AKA the most boring things to copy. If you want to hear someone shit talk Michael Zombies and find out the origin of that little note in the Undead Nocturne map, go watch the British guy's video. Link in the description.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just solved this massive ass puzzle, and now you want me to just grind points? This honestly just came off to me as a cheap tactic to artificially inflate the difficulty of the map.
And that's not to say that making a COD Zombies clone throws away all creativity out the window. Just a disclaimer. In my Project Lazarus video and my Resurrections video, I talked about the games that had something that stuck out to me throughout the years. Something that I could remember well enough to talk about as I grew from a child to an adult. I guess the big problem with these COD Zombies clones is the simple lack of identity. They're made because it's a simple formula that kids can understand. I'm not ignorant as to why they're spammed out, and I'm not ignorant as to why children may find them easy to connect with. And for the bits of originality that these games try to do, I can respect it to an extent. Alright, so that's all I have to say. I have to go to another job interview now. Need to dust my room. I feel underappreciated by someone that I hold dear. Need to buy a car, too. Yeah, I'm Breadian and I review niche Roblox games. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, it's me, Breadian. I'm going to talk about this Roblox game.